Welcome back to M Hood Fishing, everybody. I have fished in this area before, but I've never come this far down the trail, kind of exploring the area. I'm on the east bank this morning. It is just after 6:30 a.m., coming up on 7. Ferry doesn't start running till 6:30. I have been down here where this trail ends, and it seems like I keep losing the trail. Nope. It's just getting a little overgrown. I think it's going through here. And here, wow, this trail just snakes around. Thought I would try to make it down here to where the trail ends to check that out. I haven't really decided where exactly I want to fish. Maybe the end, maybe not. Oh. And this is where the trail ends. You can't go any further than this. Well, you could go back in there, but it gets even harder because I have been here before. Check it out. This is a little channel that goes back to maybe an old borrow pit, or it's a pond. More snake sticks. See, the river recently just started dropping, and it's still dropping. At some point this year, the level was all the way up here, further back there. On the other side of the river, most of the spots have a lot of thick mud between you and the water, but not so much over here because it's different over here. There's deeper water, and it's deep right off the bank to a certain point, like about where this willow ends. There's a deep drop off in these areas here, not all along here, but there are some areas with deep drop-offs. Further up where I got on the trail, it is pretty deep where that hole starts, and I think we're down here about where it ends. We're in a bend. Walking towards the pond now. Depending on the tide and the river level, this channel can be kind of deep and it can be kind of shallow. I think it's in between shallow and deep right now. The water's not really moving too much. Always curious if I can get here at the right time to find fish running in and out of that. Oh, I just discovered something that tells me it's deceiving. There is a good current. You see this downed limb here? See how it's moving a lot? It's current making it move. It's pretty good undertow, and there's turtles like crazy right there. Here's that pond. It's a pretty good size one. It's not real deep, has a lot of fish in it. But when I fished this previously last year in fall and winter, I found a lot of gar, drum. There's probably white bass in it too, and other things. There's a lot of wood in it. There's a lot of alligators right now. I see a big one making a big V line going across over there. I see one there. There's a bunch in here. Probably a good place to fish when the river's up. I bet people jug this because I think I see a couple jugs out there. Probably good for white bass and shoe pick and wipers, largemouth, all the other things you don't think about when you think about the river, even sac-a-lait. I couldn't resist. This is the one thing I have tied up. It's a small jig with a swim bait on it, white, underneath a cork. There are fish running through here. I'm hoping that it's white bass. Who knows? After being here for just a little bit, throwing stuff for white bass and skipjack, I noticed that there's a lot of feeding. Bigger fish out in front of the mouth and smaller stuff inside here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a big bait right out in the mouth. I've got my 12-foot rod here. It's got a bait runner on it. It's a difficult place to... I'm going to hook that differently. There we go. That's better. Difficult place to throw a 12-foot rod because of all the trees, but luckily we don't need to put this bait out too far. actually really deep right there. This is a bait runner, so we're going to go ahead and engage it. While we're watching the big rod, we are going to throw a sumo spoon. I only brought one big mullet out here because that's all I had, but there's a lot of bait here. We're either going to catch it on the sumo spoon or the cast net. It looks like we could throw the cast net right here. I don't think there's anything. I've been here before when it was really low. The only thing that could be a problem is stuff that is there now that wasn't there before, like sticks. I'm gonna try a different location. We're real close to where we just were. Just see if I can cast this without trimming some trees. Probably will trim some trees. Yay, still got it out there a good ways. I was throwing the cast net, that's why that's so dirty. So yeah, I have been here a long time. I got on the ferry right at 6:30 and it is now 9 p.m. There's some bad weather that might come in here at around 11, so we have 2 hours before that, and we have a few more hours before the last ferry. I don't normally like to come over here. I do like fishing over here, but the thing I don't like is I take the ferry and the ferry doesn't start running till 6:30. So by the time I get over here, a lot of the bite is done. I would prefer to be over here about 5 a.m. around there, about an hour and a half before the ferry starts running. Even if I had a vehicle, I would have to go 40 miles or more out of my way, about maybe an hour's drive or so, to get over here that early in the morning. Finally caught something here. Oh, dang it. I have no idea if this is bad or just a test. Ooh. Here we go. Nice, finally. Oh, it's a decent white bass too. I've totally given up on catfish because this bite is back and it's just really difficult. The catfish here, spent like several hours trying it. We need to bring shorter rods is what's up. I am keeping. Oh, right there. It's crazy. A few hours went by. Oh, there we go. There was a good bite this morning, a lot of activity, but not that it did me any good. It's a little one. Several hours have gone by. We're getting into solar noon probably. It's getting pretty late in the morning. So yeah, several hours went by of just nothing. A couple bites on the catfish line, probably from a gar. Need to bring shorter rods to this spot. Just not enough room to cast a 12-footer. Wow, look at that. So one white bass, one handful of lead, and some bait. I caught some bait in the cast net. That's what I did at this spot. I tell you what, it's not done yet, but we need to start working our way back up this trail because, yeah, I don't want to be on this side of the river when the bottom falls out of that. Let's see if I can remember how to get out of here. I just looked at the time and the weather. It's not even 11 o'clock yet. It's almost 11. Not worth staying back here anymore. We need to get up out of here. We can figure out where this trail is. I looked at the weather, and for the next 2 hours, we're under 20% chance of rain. But after that, it ramps up to 60% for the rest of the day. So it looks like I need to just go I don't know where I'm going though. Finally found the trail. It really just disappears back there. You got to bushwhack it through here. Since I have about 2 hours before the weather really gets worse than it is right now, we are going to try this spot. Looks like I could get a good decent long distance cast without trimming the trees. We've switched down from a 9/0, like that's what I was using previously, to an 8/0 octopus style circle hook. And we have a decent sized piece of fillet style mullet here. Just gonna hook it like that, using 4 ounces of lead. Great thing about fishing this side of the river, even though the time constraints, having to come over here at 6:30 instead of 5 in the morning, and not being able to do the evening bite because of the last ferry being sometime around 4 or something. Great thing about it though, besides that, is that there's deep water here. We're gonna be able to get into deep water. Could mean a monster is what that could mean. Well, decent enough, decent enough. That was a decent enough cast. Didn't trim any trees, didn't clip anything. We're in deep water, still sinking, not on the bottom yet. On the bottom now. Even though that's not too far out, maybe about 100 feet or more, probably a little more than 100 feet, that's in really deep water. I have fished real close to here, just about not more than 40 feet that way on the bank. About where you see that last tree going into the water there, where the rocks start. I caught a 30-pound cat over there in winter. This particular spot is always interesting. It's a giant eddy, so we have a back current. This is down river, therefore that's upriver. Our bait is getting dragged upriver because there's an eddy here. All right, we're hooked up. We didn't have to wait too long for that. This is the second bite at this spot. We're bringing them up a massive drop off too. Maybe the bait's been out for 20 minutes. Nice. I know some people are like, you should have just fished there instead of going down there. Well, I wanted to go to the mouth where that channel's coming out, the mouth of that, to look for white bass and other things. Took a lot of work, but I got my white bass. Oh, our fish is stuck. There we go. Hit a brick wall there. It's not a big fish. Oh, it's a big gaff top is what it is. Yeah, you're right. All kinds of joy today. Look at the size of that gaff top. Nice. Decent size. That's a decent sized gaff top. I'm gonna let this one go. Whew, man, what a rough day of fishing. At least I was able to make something happen and I feel good about it. But look at this. Time to go. I gave this spot 2 hours. It is now 12 o'clock. And I'm gonna say this. Thanks for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, and I will see you next time.